Hey everyone, God bless you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and best wishes for the beginning of the Great Nativity Fast, which begins in just a few days on the 15th of November. Good strength to you. I have a reflection that I have prepared for you. I'm entitling the number one top priority of a priest. I consider myself very blessed by the counsel that I was given by my spiritual father, by the bishop who ordained me when I was a young priest. He made me a priest, and he told me this word. He said, "Father, you were Christ's before you were Catherine's. You were your wife's before you were your children's. You were your children's before you were your parishioners. Keep it in that order." What a precious piece of advice he gave to me, to keep Jesus as my first love and incorporate my wife into that, and then my children into my relationship with Christ and my wife, and my parishioners also into my family life, so that it's a natural progression. And there's not a great divide between the priest's personal and family life and his parish life with regards to how it's run and how matters are. This piece of advice has guided my entire ministry. And I recently read an incredible short book by Saint Nikolai of Ohrid, who labored here in America and reposed here in the 20th century. The New Chrysostom, as he's called, the incredible saint. I've been telling you a little bit about him because I'm in the middle of a rather lengthy catechetical series on his life and works. And I recently read a beautiful work that he wrote called Cassiana. This short reflection on love, it's written as a century, as a literary genre called the century, 100, a century of short reflections on the subject of love. And in this work, he puts into the mouth of the revered elder Calistrat a beautiful word about priestly priorities. And I'd like to read it to you. This is found, the text Cassiana is found in the larger work called his Missionary Letters, Part 2. And listen to this incredible word on the number one top priority of a priest. "These are the thoughts of a true priest. He cannot think about worldly things without being raised to the heavenly, thence looking back on earth through heavenly binoculars and illuminating people and events with a heavenly lantern. In other words, he cannot think without praying." Now that is an incredible piece of advice for a priest to have his top priorities to be communication, prayer with the master, and then secondly, with the saints, with the master's nobles. And then from that position, learning to have a heavenly orientation, learning the priority of communion, he can then be of great help. His words then will have potency. His words then can really help people because they'll have a heavenly scent. They'll have what I could call a special grace for helping people, a divine cogency in their ability to alter the life of a person who's receiving counsel. Now, we priests, we have lots of obstacles to having this as our top priority, to have prayer and communion with Christ as our top priority, which we can work out through our own rules, through our own use of the prayer rope, through our own use of or commitment to the divine services. Of course, there is the obstacle in ourselves, right? We have our own obstacle to push ourselves to a heavenly orientation and not to be shackled by earthly things. But also, the burdens of parish life can be terribly great obstacles for priests who are trying to have the proper number one priority, which you want your priest to have 100%. So I would say a word to all of you. Please expect your priest to pursue his number one priority and labor, do your part, because lazy parishioners, this is one of the greatest obstacles for priests, having the proper priorities. If parishioners don't assume responsibility, if they just come and go and have no commitment to holding a ministry, fulfilling sacred work for the church, doing the things priests have no business doing. Priests should not be burdened down by properties and the care of properties and the upkeep of properties and the management of finances and a whole scad, hundreds of practical ministries that need to go on in every church. The priest, of course, should bless and pray for all of those things, and none of them should be done without his blessing. But that's his blessing. That's not his direct involvement in those things, because he will, if he have to do the bulletin, and he have to keep all the records, and he has to update the parish rolls, and he has to return all the calls, he's going to be a slave to low priorities. And the top priority will be compromised unless he has a great willingness to be criticized by others. And may all priests have that great willingness in maintaining our proper priorities. Having parishioners who are serious is about serving the church. Very, very helpful for a priest to maintain his proper priorities. And then, when he does, everything else is greatly blessed. May the Lord help us all, and may you help your priest, your pastors. Doesn't matter if you're Orthodox, Catholic, or Protestant. Whoever you are, do this. Do this for your priest. Do this for your pastor, so that he himself can do what he's supposed to do for you. God be with you.
A very happy birthday to all of you, dear ones, which we commemorate.
Hungry for truth in a world full of noise? Download the Patristic Nectar App, a bridge to the timeless wisdom of the Orthodox Church. Whether you're at home, on a walk, or in the car, you'll have instant access to hundreds of hours of powerful sermons, saints, lectures, conference videos, and podcasts, all rooted in the teachings of the Christian faith. New content is added weekly, and best of all, everything is completely free. Join thousands of others growing in the faith every day. The Patristic Nectar app is completely free thanks to generous supporters. Download it today and consider helping us nourish others with the sweet teachings of the Holy Fathers.